Trump and the Republicans cannot stop losing. And I love it. We are just a few weeks into this illegal Iranian war, which is also not a war. It's Operation Epic Fury. And Donald Trump is pausing things again after saying that Iran was militarily obliterated and they had zero chance of a comeback. So what did this country that was obliterated do? This week, they fired missiles at Israel, Cyprus, and U.S. military bases. They attacked energy infrastructure across Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE. They also declared the Strait of Hormuz closed still, and that warned that any ship transiting it would face a harsh response. Iranian-backed Hezbollah, they killed an Israeli civilian. Iran's IRGC Navy commander was killed in an Israeli strike, and within hours, Iran launched another wave of attacks anyway. That is all coming from an obliterated country that we've already won against. Firing missiles, running a toll booth on the world's oil supply. And why? Because according to reports, totally defeating Iran militarily means only destroying about a third of their missile capabilities. The strait, it's still closed. You know, the choke point for roughly 20% of global oil. Crude is back above $110 a barrel. Wall Street had its worst week since the start of COVID, and consumer confidence fell to a multi-year low. And the projection for U.S. inflation for the rest of the year, for 2026, is at 4.2%. That is a revision sharply upward. We can't afford anything. And meanwhile, Iran is charging $2 million transit toll for ships that it allows through the strait. So they've gone from a sanctioned country that's beaten to toll booth operator on the world's economy in less than a month while being bombed. I mean, they have had an extraordinary negotiating outcome for a country actively at war that we beat. And of course, unable to really end the war, Trump extended his deadline for Iran to open the strait again. It was supposed to happen by March 23rd, then by March 26th. Now the deadline's April 6th. Little taco action there. And he extended it in a Truth Social post that reads like it was dictated from a golf cart, because it probably was. As per Iranian government request, please let this statement serve to represent that I am pausing the period of energy plant destruction by 10 days to Monday, April 6th, 2026 at 8 p.m. Eastern. Talks are ongoing, and despite erroneous statements to the contrary by the fake news media and others, they are going very well. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Super official coming from Truth Social. And of course, thank you for your attention to this matter. The man is running a regime change war and closing it like a corporate memo written by that one manager that makes everything far too formal. Please allow this statement to serve to represent that I am pausing energy plant destruction. It's like the boss's nephew wrote this, a wholly unqualified person that has just been given control of an entire company that he has zero idea what he's doing. So he just uses big fancy words. And of course, Iran's official position is that there are no direct negotiations. Iran's parliament speaker called the productive talk claims fake news, stealing from Donald Trump, obviously. And at his cabinet meeting earlier in the week, Trump said Iran had offered him 8 big boats of oil. I believe that's the proper maritime name for those ships, as a goodwill gesture. And then he revised that number up to 10, just made that up out of nowhere. No one's confirmed what boats. Iran said there were no boats. There's probably no boats. He also said at the same cabinet meeting that we've won and that the U.S. is roaming free over Iran. And they need nothing from their European allies like Germany, France, and the UK, that we begged for their help, yet they still condemn the war. And despite already having won the war, the Pentagon is developing what it calls the final blow, which could involve a ground invasion of up to 10,000 additional troops. Trump said no boots on the ground. Now he's considering 20,000 boots. To be clear, that's 10,000 pairs of boots in a no-boots war. Meanwhile, Iran is kind of winning here. I mean, think about it. They still have negotiation power. And they did this. This is kind of funny to me. Kash Patel, the FBI director. Well, Iranian hackers from the group Handala, they broke into his personal Gmail account and published some of his resume, some of his cigar photos, and years of personal correspondence on the internet. The FBI and DOJ, they've confirmed that it happened. And Handala said that Patel will now find his name among the list of successfully hacked victims. I feel so secure now that I know that the FBI director's Gmail got hacked by a country that we are at war with and whose military has been, per our United States president, completely obliterated. And to make matters worse for Trump and his war of distraction, even the courts are beating Trump over the war. Well, at least AI's role in the war, because Anthropic won in federal court this week. The AI company whose Claude tool you may have used to write an email, they were designated a supply chain risk by the Pentagon last month and had their government contracts canceled. Why? Because Anthropic refused to let its AI be used to run autonomous weapons or conduct mass surveillance of Americans. Iran, Homeland, any of it. And a federal judge ruled this week that that designation was unconstitutional and it trampled free speech protections. And that this is coming directly from the ruling. Nothing in the governing statute supports the Orwellian notion that an American company may be branded a potential adversary and saboteur of the United States for expressing disagreement with the government. That's a judge saying that you cannot blacklist a company because they have ethics. God, there is so much winning in the Trump regime right now. I can't even stand it. I love hearing all this news. And by the way, if you do me a huge favor, subscribing, hitting the notification icon, liking, commenting, sharing, interacting at all with this video, it helps us keep the lights on and helps us keep the fight against Trump's reign of impotent mayhem alive.